We're going to go through some Swedish movies. Number 97 on the list, Be Kind, Rewind. This is Long Play Video. Welcome to Long Play Video, where we're running through my favorite 100 films of all time. Structure as ever is we're going to have a bit of a chat about the film, then go away and watch the film, and then come back and see if it's as good as we remember it. So today's film, number 97 on the list, is Be Kind, Rewind. It came out in 2008, stars Jack Black, Mos Def, Danny Glover, Sigourney Weaver, as directed by Michael Gondry and written by Michael Gondry. The box office was 34 million on a budget of 20 million. So it just about rubbed its nose, as they'd say on Bargain Hunt. Kevin, nice. What do you know about this film?
Now, this is an interesting one because you're just saying there's cast there like Jack Black. I'm a big fan of Jack Black. I like Danny Glover, Sigourney Weaver, great. And yet I've never heard of this film at all. So it's another... I don't know what I've done with most of my life, but apparently it turns out not watching your top 100 movies. So it's making it more entertaining for me, but less so for you.
I mean, clearly we were always meant to come on this podcast.
And this was meant to happen.
Yeah, you were here just to see the top 100. So yeah, again, this is kind of another one where I was like, yeah, when that came out, I really loved it, but I haven't seen it since. The first time I watched this, I wasn't on a plane. I wasn't traveling anywhere.
This is ridiculous. No one wants to hear this, Andy. Everyone wants to hear the truth. Come on, we know you were somewhere. So a private plane to Monaco.
In my leather jacket. It's a throwback. Yeah. I went to see this with my then girlfriend and now wife. It actually came out in February 2008. And I don't have sort of exactly when we saw it, but I recommended it to someone in March 2008. I found it in my emails. So we went to see it pretty quickly. And the reason that we probably did that is because it's written by Michael Gondry. So if you don't know, Michael Gondry kind of also wrote Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. And had just written The Science of Sleep, which is kind of a very, like him and Charlie Kaufman, they're very surreal writers and directors. So my wife's a big fan of Charlie Kaufman and of Michael Gondry and that kind of more surrealist type of film. So I think when this came out, that meant that we went to see it, if not opening weekend, definitely like one of the first 2 weekends that we went to see it. And funnily enough, sort of in comparison, I watched Eternal Sunshine last year as part of my 50 movies that I watch each year that I sort of make at the beginning of the year. And actually, I considered whether it would be in the top 100, but Jim Carrey's just a difficult person to care about. So even though Eternal Sunshine is a stellar cast as well, you really do like everyone in it are like big stars now. But yeah, I just didn't like it as much.
You're not an Ace Ventura fan, is this what you're telling me?
Is this not going
to pop up on the top 100?
Don't expect to see it later. You dust off your DVD. He's also, especially in that movie, he's just so, I mean, he's depressing. That's kind of the character, but I just don't like it.
It's not like so is this generally you're not a big fan? Are we finding your nemesis now?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Jim Carrey. I find
what about The Mask? Surely you got to like The Mask.
I think I only watched it once. I mean, at the time it was good enough, wasn't it? But just that, it feels like he has like the shtick is like the rubbery face, and he kind of does that a lot. Even like The Truman Show, which is probably the one that I minded him less in. But it's still, it kind of feels like they're all the same character. To a certain extent.
I think he's in one of my films on my top 100. So We'll see. You might at some point in your life get to see another Jim Carrey film, which will be great news for you.
It's season 2 will be in a couple of
Yeah.
years. We'll find
Yeah.
we'll be able to do virtual reality inside the film by then.
Yeah,
Which
exactly. Yeah.
which is actually kind of what this film is about.
Yeah.
You know, so this is also the film about films.
Yeah.
And probably because Inception doesn't feature in my list.
Yeah.
And that's obviously that's all about how you make a film. And so this is like,
Yeah.
you know, with La La Land, Cinema Paradiso, and sort of those kind of films. This is about films themselves, and like how films build community and bring them together. And I really remember like, I just really remember, because it's based in a video shop as well. It's very kind of,
Yeah.
it's, you know, the kind of the visuals I think we both have in our heads for this
Yeah.
podcast is that we're sort of, in a video shop giving recommendations to people that come in.
Yeah.
And I have fond memories of that. You know, I knew, like growing up, I knew the person in our local video shop. You know, it was an
Yeah.
older brother of someone in my class. At university, I would always kind of take the videos back, and I would get teased that I fancied the girl at the video shop. But it was actually I just liked talking about movies with someone.
Of course. We've all done that. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is also why I've invented this podcast, just so I can talk about movies.
Yeah.
With someone. So.
Oh, well, I thought there was going to be a revelation here about me. Okay. Yeah.
Not without the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, I remember it being a really good, funny movie from 2008, which obviously now is it's quite some time ago.
It's getting on. What is we won't go into too much detail because obviously I haven't seen it. We're going to no spoilers, but I feel like with Jack Black films, there's kind of two areas. There's either ones where he's just great and he nails it and he's perfect, and ones where he just seems absolutely terrible. Does he fit into one of those more than the other?
I remember him being good, but I think it sort of he for me he can go too far sometimes, and he's like trying to back into funny. It's like the Family Guy thing, isn't it, where they kind of keep repeating and it's funny and then it's not funny and then trying to get back into funny, which they do most of the time. I think with this one there's some really, really good bits. He is kind of the co-star. I would say Mos Def is the main character.
Okay.
And he I think I remember him sort of playing a bit more of the like hapless fool, a little bit more than sort of usual. But at the same time, I remember him being very, very funny.
I think he's good as a supporting actor, isn't it? Because I'm thinking like School of Rock. He like, I mean, obviously the design of that film, but he hams that film up massively. Right?
Yeah,
he's real full on Jack Black.
Yeah,
so
We just watched that actually a couple of weekends ago with my daughter. To see whether she liked it. Yeah, she loved it. She thought it was great.
Excellent. I hope she's compiling her top 100 list now, and we'll put that together for season 3.
I wonder whether she's actually seen 100 films yet. Probably not. We just did all the Spy Kids ones as well, which are classics.
If she's not seen 100 films yet, mate, we need to stop this immediately. And you need to go and get her watching more movies. Use your daughter, right? Come on.
She gets forced to watch them on Sundays, which is no TV day. But she's realised that I'll let her watch movies together.
Oh, nice.
Core memories being built.
So, out of the potential films that anyone could pick from 2008, you've opted for this one. So, should we discuss why this one's on the top 100 rather than any of the other really big seminal films?
Yeah, so because I remember it being really funny. So they make versions of other movies, which isn't spoilers, which are really good. And I think there's always that. Funnily enough, when I was sort of thinking about it and putting it in the list, I think the closest film that the kind of it was competing with was actually Super 8. Have you seen that film, which is about the kids making the movie? Because I do think there is sort of something about that kind of creativity and making movies and like,
Yeah.
doing that with your friends and having a good time. I actually never did
Yeah.
it like growing up. I'd love to sort of say, oh yeah, me and my friends were always there with a video camera and we were making
Yeah.
movies. But yeah, I just didn't do it at all. Wasn't in any
Too
of
busy
the
playing computer games, right?
it's outside playing football, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is kind of why I remember it, and as that sort of meta like comment on the movie industry and the film industry and everything else. Um, yeah, then I think I got there with the fact that it was Michael Gondry and sort of Charlie Kaufman, like
Yeah.
the slightly surreal side of movies. I wanted kind of to have one of those in. Again,
Mm.
I haven't seen it since 2008. I don't know,
Yeah.
yeah, whether everything now is tinged a bit with like, yeah, is this actually going to be a good film or not? But I am looking forward
Yeah.
to watching it again, and I do remember it being funny and good, and that's why I put it in. I mean, I put it in '97, but that's why I put it in because I do remember it just being really, really funny.
Yeah.
Like yeah, straight out kind of comedy, but also about that kind of video shop and the kind of the community around a video shop, which yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want to sound too old, but yeah, I lament for
Yeah.
like the hanging out and talking about movies all day, which is obviously something that I really like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think that was the thing when I saw, like, I had a quick look to see just on the artwork of this film, so I didn't really know anything about it, but I didn't want to investigate too much. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, this definitely looks like a film that would be on Andy's list. It's like it said, it's pretty much them revolving around a movie shop or a video shop. So as you said as well, maybe perfect for the long play podcast as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I must admit, I'll be interested to see what it's like. There were many good films in 2008 we could have picked. I think I'm looking forward to the one that you cherry picked as the top, and we'll see how it is. So you're saying then, so you've only seen it once. You're not.
Yeah.
So this isn't gonna be this gonna be your first time you're rewatching it. Okay, cool. So that could be interesting. Is there anything that you are looking forward to, or anything that you're worried about that you can remember, or you
Yeah.
just
So I don't remember it that well. So I don't think
mm,
there's anything that I'm worried about apart from the fact that I don't remember it that well. Because I think
yeah,
everything now you're just a bit
yeah,
like, is that going to be as I remembered it?
yeah,
The what I am looking forward to seeing, like the films they make are hysterical, and I remember that
yeah,
just laughing a lot in the cinema.
yeah,
Um,
okay,
so yeah, I kind of I'm guessing that the device around it. I mean, because it's not a very well known movie,
yeah,
something in my brain would say, okay, there was obviously something that was off here, or there was something that sort of that didn't work.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah,
I think it's going to be an interesting one. I'm really looking forward to rewatching it. This
yeah,
is definitely this is definitely the one that I kind of remembered the least
yeah, okay,
on it, I'm confident. I don't sound
yeah.
confident. I'm confident
We'll
it's going to
see.
be good, but no, I think it's
Yeah,
going to be good.
I think the premise sounds good, like from what I know about it, and then the car sounds great. It might just be one of those things where, as you were saying, in 2008, there was so many great films that maybe this sort of, nice little fun independent film that might have done okay, maybe didn't do quite as well just because there were so many other blockbusters in that year and everyone was talking about them and going to see them. And maybe there wasn't, it wasn't in the cinema for long, and might have missed out because of that. So, yeah, it feels like it should be a good with that cast as well. It feels like it should be a good film. So, you know, I'm very hopeful. There's no Chris O'Dowd, so this is already a huge bonus against Juliet Naked.
Tom Hanks.
So,
Tom Hanks doesn't pop up in it.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think with that, there's less to talk about before the film,
yeah,
because I remember it less. So
yeah.
I think with that, we just crack on and and give it a watch.
Put the VHS in. Here we go.
Awesome.
Super Strange I think is what I would go for. I was trying to think, how would I summarize this movie? And it's just, yeah, it's very different, and I'm going to be really interested to hear what you have to say, because I know you weren't sure you could remember too much about it from the first viewing, so I'm going to be keen to hear what you had to say. But yeah, just a very bizarre movie. Like the concept sounded great, but then it just sort of like wanders around a little bit. It's just, yeah, it's definitely a little bit strange. Yeah. What were your thoughts? Coming back
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. Yeah, I mean the weirdness is definitely there. It's
Yeah.
Michel Gondry in the first half. I was calling him Michael Gondry, but yeah, Michel Gondry
Yeah.
is just kind of known for obviously Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah, sort of gives you an indication. But I love the fact just creates a world, and that world is very
Mm.
consistent and is what it is. So therefore, like, anyone going in saying, "Oh, well, it's not very realistic," you're kind of like, "Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think it's supposed to
Yeah.
be realistic."
Yeah. No.
So as far as kind of world building and everything like that is concerned, yeah, I just really loved it. I thought it had a lot of really, yeah, cool, interesting things to say, kind of about like, the kind of mass consumerism of the when sort of going to the DVD at the time,
Yeah.
and community, and that, yeah, that last shot. Um, yeah, that
Yeah. The
last
mad
shot
side.
is, yeah, is just really, really good, and like the emotion that they managed to get into that, um, yeah, it's just, yeah, just I think was why it had stuck in my mind so much.
Yeah. I did wonder about that. I thought the community feel, I thought that was what I was thinking. I was thinking, why would Andy like this film? Um, Not as in just what is wrong with Andy? Why does he like this film? Although we will definitely get to that point, I'm sure, on this list. But yeah, I was trying to think like more into your psyche, and I thought, oh yeah, the community thing. I thought you'd probably like that, and just like it is quite a unique sort of idea and system of oh, why don't we just watch something a little bit different, where we watch a movie where we're all in it rather than the actual movie itself, and then obviously everyone gets to partake. So yeah, I thought that was what I really liked about it. Obviously, the recreating the films is the fun part of it, and that's the really enjoyable bit, and then they expand that to actually start making sure that other people in the community are in the film, so they feel like they're more connected. So that was really good. I mean, obviously, as you said, there's some bits and pieces where you need to suspend belief, but it's a movie. That's the whole point of it. But yeah, the movies recreating the films, I thought was the best bit for me. Is there
Yeah.
anything that sort of stood out for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's in some of them, some of the movies they recreate, you kind of see the skill. Even sort
Mm,
of obviously they're sort of making a little bit of fun of the special effects. But I think the
yeah,
2001 sort of piece, especially, like that is how they filmed it by sort of, yeah, twisting the camera and doing that. So I think
yeah,
that sort of, yeah, that's really good. I think it was still about that kind of vibe of being in the video shop where you kind of
yeah,
you find a random film, um, and like you have that delight. And I think that was that was interesting, almost, that it was framed from a sort of going from videotape VHS to DVD, but
yeah,
actually it was, yeah, it was much more about kind of mass consumerism. When Danny Glover's doing the research, he's like, "Oh, everything's just comedy or action. Like, no, nothing else.
yeah,
Those are the only two genres we should have." So I thought it was really
yeah,
good, like that sort of comment on that, and just kind of, okay, yeah, it's no longer about, finding something at the back of a bin, and kind of
yeah,
going from there. And then
yeah,
I thought there was, I thought there was, the sort of the whole the magnetic piece. Like that's, I mean, that's where it's sort of, it's off the wall sort of comedy. It's
yeah,
not supposed to be serious, but even like,
yeah,
yeah, when he pees it out, like, and the metal was sort of going towards it and stuff. There were, yeah, there were
uh,
kind of touches in there that are actually quite hard to do. Um,
yeah,
and then I think, yeah, it's the sort of the main point, kind of towards the end, is it's more about memory
mm,
of things than it is kind
yeah,
of reality, and it's more about how you remember films than actually
yeah,
the film content itself.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, as we're kind of showing on here, right, with films that I can't remember but sort of love, and then I'm like, oh, why do I love this? And it's
Yeah.
completely different to how I actually think about it. I think it
Mm.
really captures that really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. And that, like you said, that sort of stage of moves into that, like you said, the more consumerism piece, definitely with the DVDs and the other shops. And you go to the other shops and they're like all really nice and shiny, and it's a projector. And so, yeah, it is quite funny. And then obviously their shop is a really small, dingy video shop, and it's not very nice at all. So yeah, it's an interesting concept. I did think there was some interesting ideas. I like the fact that it almost, it does, everyone's sort of in on the joke, but then you're like, are they all in on the joke, or is it just a bit of a joke? I'm not really sure, but when what's his name, Jack Black is he's like signing autographs as RoboCop. I thought that was quite amusing, and that was quite good. And Danny Glover comes back. He's like, "What's going on here?" But yeah,
Well, I
what
think,
do you think of? Go on.
no, no, go.
I was gonna say, what did you think of Danny Glover's character?
I thought it's good. It's sort of, the sort of the stern, kind of
Mm,
almost outsider looking in. I think that's, sort of Danny Glover and Mos Def are definitely the main characters, and it's kind of their
yeah,
story. And I think there's actually, that's for me where there was kind of a lot of the depth, actually, like their relationship. Obviously, Mos Def, it's not his dad, but like Mos Def's been left there. We're not really sort of
yeah,
sure like why. And then, when he sort of talks about, the fact that he made up the story, about Fat Swallow,
yeah,
staying there because he just wanted him to be happy, and he could have chosen anyone, but yeah, that was like a happy character. But presumably he was left
yeah,
there like by his parents or like by his family. So that's where like their relationship, I think, is very sweet, and he plays that well. Um,
yeah,
because
yeah. I
and
thought
that's where
he's
creativity does come from. Like creativity does usually come from like a bad place, or like an unhappy
yeah,
place, and that's why Mos Def, like his character Mike, has the
yeah,
creativity, whereas Jack Black is very much a sort of a
yeah.
comedy foil.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think you're right. I did think the Danny Glover character was a bit interesting. They kind of build him up, and like you said, they build that character dynamic between him and Mike. And then you're thinking, oh, yeah, okay. And then he just sort of, they go, oh, I'm just going to disappear for a week. And you're like, what is that? What exactly was he doing? And then he's just like looking at some binoculars. He goes into a video store, and you're like, this is a very weird, slow week. I'm not really sure what Danny's been up to, but I think he should take some holiday.
Well, he
Um,
has his group of friends, at least, to go and see. I mean, we're
yeah.
obviously, as we talk about, it's all about having a group of friends that you can go to and ask questions.
Yeah,
It wasn't in a coffee
yeah,
shop; it was in an abandoned railway. But
no,
yeah, no, it's good. I mean, on sort of second watch, obviously Jack
yeah,
Black taping his eyes up to be Jackie Chan in Rush Hour 2 is not good.
yeah, yeah.
And
His
I mean,
accent as well for
yeah,
Rush Hour 2 is a
yeah,
bit, which is I thought it was quite ironic, because then when he does like the blackface and they're like,
yeah,
no, no, and they sort of take on and go and take him outside and they address it and go, yeah, no, this is not acceptable.
yeah,
It's weird that they did that, but then they do like the Jackie Chan thing, which is obviously
yeah, a bit of the
bordering on
time.
racist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then I thought like, Danny Glover's supposed to have a lisp, right? And then, but that lisp seems to sort of come and go. I'm like, he seems to be fine again now. Oh no, he's back again. It was a little bit strange. The poor old Danny Glover, I feel sorry for him as well. I don't know, like I feel like he became famous when he was like 32, and has only played people that are like 57 upwards. Like he just doesn't get to play anyone like his old age. He's always playing someone older, and so yeah, I don't know. Maybe that sort of ruined his career a bit too early.
Well, I think if he's famous from Lethal Weapon for you, I think that's
Yeah,
because that's sort of the one that went out. But he was quite famous in the US beforehand, with like
yeah.
Color Purple and stuff like that. Um,
So other than that sort of piece you talked about with the Jackie Chan thing, was there anything else you thought that was sort of bad?
no, I didn't. No, not bad. There
Mm.
was sort of things that I noticed on the rewatch. It was less funny than I remembered, but also
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
better than I remembered. Um,
yeah,
So yeah, from that point of view, it was good. And then interestingly for me, like Driving Miss Daisy, Boys in the Hood, and actually probably Space
Yeah.
Odyssey. The first time I'd watched this, I hadn't watched those films. Space Odyssey I'd kind
Yeah.
of seen in bits, but never kind of sat down. But I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen them all now. So the Boys in the Hood remake with the pizza from where someone's like head has been shot was just
Yeah.
super funny.
Yeah.
So that was good. I thought, the whole, getting a video account when they're trying to kind of put them off the
Yeah.
Sweded film. And she
Yeah.
says, you need a picture ID, phone bill, last 3 rent receipts, last 3 countries visited before this trip, 10 favorite films and blood type. It did used to be like that. To get a video account just used to take a ridiculous amount of ID to get it, which I remember at uni, that was always a problem because you needed like proof of address. And then they were like, well, where did you live before this? And you're just like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like miles away. I didn't live anywhere near here. So
you can't deliver to there. That's like not going to help.
I wasn't on the bills at my parents' house. That just wasn't a thing. So.
And then the fact that they were like $1 as well, you're just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, I mean, obviously that would have gone back a long time. I was like, God, can you imagine renting a video out for $1? That just seems implausible now.
Yeah. But that, as I said, the VHS to DVD sort of, not just as technology moving on, but sort of the independent video shop where you can find different films to then the blockbuster, less choice, like when Danny Glover's in there kind of taking his little survey, and it's like less choice, just have the same film 40 times. I think that really holds up, and actually I think almost holds up better now when you sort of see the algorithm. And obviously I'm sort of very anti the algorithm in Netflix telling me what I should watch. So I think that stuff really holds up, and actually it's almost sort of better looking back at it. I think for me it's almost better it being in the past now than maybe the first time when I watched it.
Okay, that's interesting. I thought there wasn't anything that I specifically thought that was bad. I thought it was a bit slow at times. It's definitely a more considered film. It's not a like quick in and out, move around. So once obviously they start recreating the movies, everything moves on a little bit quicker. But yeah, I think it was a little bit slow for me at times. But other than that, it was just like for me, as I said, maybe just a little bit strange. I did think, as you said, like when they were split into action, adventure, and comedies, when he was going into the store, I thought, I wonder how many of Andy's list will actually make it into this DVD store. Because he didn't say romantic comedies. I was like, a few of these are going to be taken off the list.
You wouldn't be able to find that many within the blockbusters of age old. I think it's interesting on the sort of it being a slow film. I think it's really funny, like when they get dressed up and obviously do the blending when they're breaking into the power plant. There's a good sort of 10-minute scene where Jack Black sat there in the makeup that will mean that he blends in perfectly to the fence.
Yes.
And they don't explain it at all. And he's just like sat there in this like camouflage makeup, and he's just talking, and it's not until I don't think I even picked it up on the first time, but this time you're just like, why is he wearing one? And then I was like, oh, it's because of that. So they definitely go for the long setup.
It's interesting seeing Jack Black. Like, I know we spoke about this a bit earlier, but just seeing Jack Black in films, and it's like, do you get that version of Jack Black where he's a bit more considered and he's maybe a bit more controlled, maybe he's a bit more of a supporting actor, or does he actually go hell for leather and just go completely crazy? And I think we know which one he went for in this. Pretty straightforward.
I think the thing is, like, compare it to School of Rock, though. He's. I mean, I think it's early as well, isn't it? So. Like unhinged Jack Black at this stage isn't quite the same as later on. But also, I mean, he is a supporting character, which feels like in a lot of the reviews that we'll get onto, and a lot of the kind of write up about it was almost like, oh well, it's a Jack Black film, and you're like, no, it's really not a Jack Black film. Like he is the supporting character for sure.
Yeah, like you said, he's definitely the foil, wasn't he? There's no real depth to his character. He's there for comedy relief. He's not there for for, expanding the storyline. The storyline is definitely between, Danny Glover and Mike for sure. And
Yeah.
then I guess maybe to an extent Alma as well.
Yeah. I mean, with how complicated it was, what did you come up with to explain it to the aliens in
Yeah,
30
well,
words or less?
this was a good one because I was like, how do you explain this in a short? You can't get as short as some of the other ones, but this is what I went with. A community gets together to save a video shop by creating bespoke films on an old medium that ultimately doesn't save the shop. That's how. That's what I got to.
That sounds really boring. I think
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
not watch that movie.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a million miles away. I did think it's quite funny at the end that we'll come to yours in a minute, but that after all that, Danny Glover just goes, "Yeah, we got super close. We literally took all the money out of everyone in the community. Everyone's paying $20 for every single movie, but we still didn't make it. Knock it down. It's just
Still,
well, oh, okay,
not enough for the man. It's
yeah,
Sigourney Weaver playing
oh, yeah."
damn the man.
That was so strange as well. I was like, "Why is Sigourney Weaver in this film? This seems really weird." But
I
yeah,
had
I don't know.
well, I kind of went a bit for the life lesson, but also for the plot,
Mm.
saying technology is no match for human creativity and community, but a steamroller almost is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, nice. That does sound a lot more appealing on the front of a video than my one. So I think you'd be more inclined to watch it if you use your one. Yeah, so that was
and
your sort of life lesson then.
well, yeah, it was kind of the description and life lesson, but I had a couple of others for the life lesson as well.
Yeah.
Um, I think where film is concerned, it is the ability to create emotion that people remember
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
anything else, which I think we're proving, and we're only 4 movies in. I've also my biggest sort of takeaway is I'm going to start monologuing like Danny Glover when he
Oh,
when he
wow.
asks the question, and then and then the person doesn't know the film, and he's like, "No discernible knowledge needed." I'm going to start doing that in interviews. I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
what brings you to look for a job with us today? And then they're going to answer, and I'm going to say, doesn't have a good answer for a question about
Yeah.
why they want
Yeah.
to join the company.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just think
Pretty
that's the way to look.
sure. Yeah, they're not going to progress after question one. Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
you?
Well,
What life lesson did you take from it?
I put VHS was such bad quality that normal people could recreate films without you knowing.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, I think like obviously, I mean, as you said, like the life lessons more around the, I guess that they say this as well, don't they, about memories that you kind of the more further away you get from the memory, and the more that you try to remember a memory or a story, you can always add pieces in, and you're right, and the memory becomes what you created rather than potentially the reality of what was actually there, or what actually happened. And
Yeah.
so, I guess that's the true sort of life lesson to take away is just make all your memories happy and don't worry about anything. Just be like, just do that.
I mean, it's funny, the Ghostbusters theme when he's singing the Ghostbusters theme
Oh,
is
good.
just so funny.
Yeah.
But that does have the point of, you just remember stuff that's blatantly wrong, but he's like, no, I'm fairly sure that is that is the
Yeah.
song.
It's like, I'm certain that's the song. Yeah. So what genre do you think it would be? Because I found this really difficult, so I'll be interested to see what you say. But yeah, what genre do you think this could be changed into?
I mean, I thought like a crime sort of detective thing with the magnetized man
Yeah,
going
okay.
around committing murders, like a crime thriller. Jack Black as the serious person who has kind of like Magneto, I guess, but just less
Yeah.
capable and just very sort of short term. No video cameras would pick him up on surveillance.
Yeah.
It's the perfect criminal.
It would. So you'd change the story then. So you would actually would they still make the videos or as a sideline business, and Jack Black was just killing people in the evenings, or
No, this would like Mike would be painfully unaware of the magnetized man
yeah,
just
okay.
going along and killing people.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I sort of thought of this one as if I was going to recreate exactly the same film in a different genre. So I was struggling because obviously they cover quite a lot of genres with
Yeah.
the movies they recreate. So you can't really pick one. So I kind of thought maybe a silent movie like The Artist,
Oh,
or because I thought that could work quite well with the scenes, or a musical. I thought could be quite amusing.
you could
So
have
that
thrown a
was
couple of songs in. That's true.
yeah, yeah. So
I
that
don't
could have
know,
been
how
quite
much
good.
would
But yeah,
you have to explain stuff on cards about what's going on? I know there'd be a
yeah,
lot of exposition in a silent movie.
yeah, yeah. There would be a. I mean, obviously, once they create the movies, you'd be fine because obviously you can just see them recreating movies. But you're right, you'd have to have a little bit of a setup to explain why he got magnetized, why he wiped all of the videos, and why they were recreating them. But I think we could get there. I think it could happen,
You
especially
can,
with Jack Black as well. Like his facial, like I think he'd be good at it.
yeah, it'd be good in a silent movie.
Yeah.
Which character did you identify with most, or would you like to be most?
I think with this one, I struggled with this one. I wasn't too sure, but I went with Alma. I think Alma was
Yeah.
my selection. Just pulls it all together, holds it together, makes sure that apart from the awful. Oh yeah, we should talk about this actually. The moustache scene, which was just I was like, whoa, that's a little bit crazy, a little bit weird. Um,
It's like an
yeah,
awkward, love scene, or like awkward where they fancy each other, but they're not going to kiss. They can't do anything. As I mean, yeah, Melanie Diaz, the actress, is
yeah.
I think she's really amazing in it, and I don't think
Mm.
she got kind of a lot of the credit, because then there's Danny Glover's Sigourney Weaver, Jack Black, Mos Def. You kind of
Yeah.
further down the billing. But
Yeah.
it was a sweet little
Yeah.
interaction. I
It's
mean, never
I
say
mean,
that. Another life lesson: never say that a woman has a moustache. That's just never going to
no.
work for you. So,
Yeah. I think that's the thing, like you said, it's kind of, a tweak on the first kiss when, the 2 characters are together and one of them's, like, really shy and not really sure how it's gonna happen. But I'm like, "Yeah, but I think leading with, I think you've got a moustache," was a little bit bold. So, yeah, that was a bit strange, but what about you? Which character do you think you were most like or you'd most like to be?
I mean, I very much see myself as Mike to your Jack Black. To be honest with you, I mean,
Oh, I
I
definitely
felt
saw you as Mike.
I feel like this is all almost autobiographical for our relationship. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to start putting in some really good compliments about Jack Black's performance now.
Just living in a trailer, wanting another trailer, getting into mishaps and me having to get you out of them. I think,
Yeah. I mean, it sounds fairly plausible, doesn't it? Yeah.
no,
Oh,
I think
dear.
that this is like that it, yeah, I was well known, I think, for a time of like having weird movies, and people would be like, oh, this is another Andy weird movie. This
Yeah.
definitely falls into that, but I think it's got
Yeah.
a lot of heart. And yeah, I mean, to be Mike, to obviously not need money for some reason, and just be able to make movies all day would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Obviously, there's lots of things you don't worry about, like the fact that all of a sudden everyone's got loads of money to pay for videos, which clearly they don't. And then the fact that the video shop's closed the whole day because he's just making video. But yeah, you had to sort of get past that, don't you? Did you have any sort of favorite lines that you picked up that you like the sound of?
Well, I think when Danny Glover's with his friends, one of his friends says, "This is America. Anyone can make money." It's it's
Yeah.
a bit like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Where it's
um,
just like they've added in like the stainless steel parts of the dishwasher thing.
yeah,
Uh,
which was really funny. When Moscow says to Jack Black, "All the tapes are gone," and he says, "Gone where?" I think
yeah.
that's a great one. When they're
Yeah.
talking about the fact where he's like, "Oh, we can't let her know that we're in Ghostbusters," and Jack Black's just like, "Maybe I am in Ghostbusters." He's just
Yeah.
like-
Who knows?
you're like,
Yeah.
what?
I love
And
it, yeah,
then
because go on.
no, I was going to go on to the next one. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, when he gives her the video and he's like having to go and Jack Black, he's still in his costume. So I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
she's gonna know that you're in it. Like, don't be worried about Jack Black. Like, she's seen you. Yeah.
yeah. And then the nice one. she says, Melanie Diaz says, maybe it's Mia Farrow says, our
Yeah.
past belongs to us. We can change it if we want.
Mm.
And that was actually sort of, that kind of made me think of another quote I heard recently, which is, it's never
Yeah.
too late to have a happy childhood. And it's like, again, it's that kind of thing about like how you remember something, and like the memories that you kind of take with you are kind of the most important. So I thought that was a really good line, and
Look at you.
kind of worked. I think this is like a rewatch film. It'd be interesting for you to watch it in like a year's time or something, because there's a lot of other references. I can tell this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, this isn't going to happen. I don't think I want to watch this film again. I mean, it would have seemed a bit slow for me. Maybe I could rewatch it. I don't know. Ask me again in a year. Yeah.
We'll see if it makes onto your list. Any references that you spotted that doesn't stand the test of time?
I think this, as we said, the Jackie Chan thing was, was unfortunate. Yeah, that definitely didn't hold up. Rest of it seemed to be generally okay, I thought.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, no, definitely that. And that's I think it seems pretty relevant. I mean, the whole DVD sort of to video, obviously. Yeah, I think kind of, the fact that it's in the past now. I think this came out in 2008, so like that was a bit weird at the time, because realistically DVDs had come out like 10 years earlier. So it was almost sort of set 10 years in the past in 2008, which I think made it even stranger. But but now I don't know whether the person that I recommended to go and see it, I don't know whether they ever did see it. I should follow up with them.
See if they're still talking to you first.
15 years later, I was like, did you ever go and watch Be Kind Rewind when I recommended it?
Remember that film? And I'd be like, yes, I did. I can't believe you made me watch it. No, I'm sure they'd like it. Is there anything that you thought you could swap out, for something and make it more of a remake for in today's times, like anything around the?
I think nowadays, I think you'd have a few more faces in the sort of the people who come into the video shop. I mean, obviously, Farrow's there, is obviously very famous, but I think you'd have a few more of the side actors. I'd like to keep the main characters. They're really good, but I think you'd have I think a few more kind of cameos from people. Bill Murray would just be stood randomly in line, and they wouldn't mention anything, or I think most people wouldn't be able to resist having someone sort of come up and request a movie that they're in or something, and be told no, that they can't do it. So that was the only thing.
That was the same for me. I thought the same. I thought, you could have more, like you said, in the cameo actors. You could definitely have, bulked up that bit in a little bit more. I mean, I guess that one of the things is obviously you want to try and keep that community part, that feel going through. But I think you're right. Just having those funny bits, as you said, if you had, someone coming up who's a really famous actor in that film, and then they're like, no, sorry, you're not right for this one. You go and do this. That would have been good.
Clearly they'd do that if it came out. And obviously divides the reviewers on Amazon.
Some good ones.
Some one from 2008, which I think has weathered the storm really well. 1 star. The idea behind this film is sound, ropey, funny 20-minute remakes of classic old films. I mean, they've done much better with the.
They've summarized it way better than we did.
It didn't matter how bad they were, as you'd recognize them from their catchphrases. I'm not sure there was that many catchphrases. While it gets to these bits early on in the film, they're funny, but don't last long. It then gets back to Jack Black taking over the film in his usual overpowering and annoying way. The rest of the film is about Black making a film about a fictional jazz character. First of all,
come on.
First of all, it's not a fictional jazz character.
No, we've just established Jack Black's a great actor, and he's been brilliant in everything, and we all love him. We just got to that point. No, he doesn't take over at all, does he? That's a very strange comment to make.
And it's a real yeah, it's a real jazz character. They existed.
Mm.
Remind me to avoid all Jack Black films in the future, as he's annoying and as untalented as Ricky Gervais. just
Oh
just
my, wow.
dips into a
Wow.
bit of a dig
Yeah.
at Ricky as well. And then a lot of people love it. I mean,
Yeah.
I do think there's definitely there's a few essays in film school written about it. One of
Yeah.
the ones from the 5 stars, which I really liked, includes the sentence, "The plot is one of old."
Wow.
Is that?
That's
I'm not.
brilliant.
It's not one of the classic stories, is it?
Yeah.
We
One
make
of old.
videos because there's a
Yeah.
magnetic person who's wiped them all. Yeah, one of them. The idea of the story is eccentric and unrealistic, but really charming, quirky
Yeah.
fun, and a bargain at £3. So that's
There you go. Everyone's still
but,
loving it. Whenever you pay hardly anything for something, it's always better.
yeah. And then one
Yeah.
of them, I liked it. Dash Louis Walsh. Not
What?
not sure what that is. Whether that's a
Is
quote
he?
that Louis Walsh was known for.
Oh,
I liked
yes.
it.
I
I
think,
don't know.
yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
used to say, I liked it. Yeah.
yeah. That's
You need
it's
to
an
watch more of the what was it, X Factor? Yeah, I think it was an X Factor.
yeah. It's an
Yeah.
obscure reference to put in a movie review, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then yeah, on the whole point of yeah, movie schools, one of the reviews was
Mm.
rejecting film as solely extant in IP and accepting it as a truly collaborative document of the shared history and myths of a community, surviving even in the face of the institutions, i.e. Hollywood gentrifiers, that will do everything in their power to suppress it. One of the greatest films ever made. I think that's
Wow.
over egging it. I
That
like the
that
film.
sounds like your review.
That's why people don't like people like that, because that's the
Yes.
type of thing they say. I don't think one of
Yeah.
the greatest films ever made, but I can imagine a lot of people writing their essays on this at film school and
Yeah.
thinking that they're the first people to have done it. And then it's like, put
Oh,
the essay on the pile of Be Kind,
yeah,
Rewind.
exactly. Here we go. Add this one in. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I can see how it'd be quite interesting, the topic for like if you were actually don't have to write a film school essay. Yeah, there was a couple that I saw, but these 1 stars. Just the subject heading was just warning, not fit for children or adults. I was like, look, I mean, you may not like this film, but whether it is good or not a film, I was like, that's a great summation. That's a great takedown. So I appreciate that tagline. But
It's
but
funny they should say that, because we stopped watching it and I turned to my
yeah,
wife and said, I can't wait to watch this with my daughter. I think actually, like,
yeah,
there's a lot to it that is actually pretty harmless and
yeah.
funny, and I think it would work as a kids movie.
Mate, well, you make sure you FaceTime me in when you're watching that, and I'll be keen to see how well that goes down. Oh dear. And then I guess in terms of is there anything that you think would be better or worse if it came out today? I know obviously we spoke about the Jackie Chan stuff, but yeah, is there anything else
I
you
think it would
think?
do better,
Mm.
I think it would be bigger. I think it holds up. I can see them adding in a few more superhero movies. The whole sort of premise of, all films are the same now, and
Yeah,
they're not exciting, and that's why people actually are interested in seeing other people do it. I can see them throwing in an Iron Man now, and a yeah, Spider-Man,
yeah,
sort of, yeah, animated few more films. So I think it would do better today. I think it
yeah.
holds up more today. Maybe it's also that we haven't had a Michel Gondry film in quite a long time. I was trying to find out what happened to him, because he
Mm,
was really, yeah, he was really popular and kind of ahead of his time. But I
yeah,
think he's got a new film coming out this year. So yeah, if
brilliant.
anyone who wants to go and watch it, just be warned. Maybe
Yeah,
not fit for children or adults, but
or adults. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it's gonna be trippy, and yeah, for sure isn't gonna work. But I think, yeah, because like, when I was looking at similar movies on Letterboxd for it,
Yeah,
one of them was Ghostbusters, and you're just like,
Brilliant.
the
Thanks.
algorithm completely breaks
Yeah.
down. Like, this is not like Ghostbusters. This has Ghostbusters in it, but you can't
Yeah.
say that their film
No.
that they made is like
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
And it's not like Ghostbusters at all either, in any
Yeah,
way, other
yeah.
than the tiny bit that they remake.
So it would have been great for them to sort of say, "Oh, this film, it's like Driving Miss Daisy,"
Yeah, that would have been good.
because it just has
Okay.
because it has a bit in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's strange. It definitely wasn't. I don't know what I would say it was like, but it's definitely not like Ghostbusters or any of the movies I'd say that they recreate, really.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, it's Eternal Sunshine. It's
Yeah, it's
adaptation. You've seen that, which is sort of a Charlie Kaufman one where
yeah,
Nick Cage is like both the writer of the film, but he's also in the film. It's very,
right.
very weird and very trippy.
Well,
So yeah, I
you
think,
got me
and
interested with Nick Cage.
I mean, again, yeah, I think that's as much of a Nick Cage film as this is a Jack Black film. So be
Yeah, yeah,
warned.
fair. Yeah.
And then yeah, Science of Sleep is Michel Gondry's other film,
Mm,
which is also very, very trippy. Um, I think this is almost his most mainstream film. So yeah, that sort of goes to show like, yeah,
yeah.
the types of film. I mean, Eternal Sunshine is fine,
Yeah, I would,
obviously,
yeah.
if you can care about Jim Carrey, as we covered.
Well, exactly. Yeah, some of us do. Some of us are big fans of The Mask, so yeah, I'd say Eternal Sunshine's probably the most well known. I would say that I know personally, but yeah, I mean, I told a few people that I was watching this, and a few people did say they've heard of it before. So I was like, okay, we're getting into the right part of the list now. Then that's good. So,
Four movies in, people have heard of the movies. That's good.
yeah. Speaking of which, then, yeah, do you think it should still stay on the top 100? And then, if you do, would you keep it in the same position or would you change it? And if not, what would you replace it with?
Yeah, I would be tempted to move it down, to be honest with you. I think,
Okay.
I really liked it on the rewatch.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. Again, it's a bit like Juliet Naked, sort of thinking of that as a romantic comedy, and sort of thinking of this as a comedy, which it
Yeah.
isn't. Like, there's a lot of heart to it, and there's a lot of depth to it for me. So yeah, I think I would be potentially, I'd move it down into the 80s somewhere,
Oh,
like high
wow.
80s. I think, it deserves to be a bit lower.
Wow. Well, we'll see what that means. What's going to get bumped? We'll get to it at some point.
The shuffling
Which
of the
little?
movies and trying to put them in order
Yeah.
is truly the hardest part of the list. So I'm gathering that it's not going to make your list. Wouldn't dislodge anything.
No, I don't think it's going to quite wriggle into my top 100. But I think we'll be okay. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. If there's any Jack Black films on my top 100? There might be, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, this isn't going to quite make it in for me. But yeah, it was definitely entertaining. Something a bit different. As I said, certainly as we covered off, it's deliberately supposed to be that different style of film, and maybe get you a bit more thought provoking, thinking about things in different ways, rather than just your run of the mill sort of comedies.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I get that. Definitely, a
mm,
weird Andrew film, as my brother would say.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I can understand that. Um, and yeah, I'd still highly recommend it if anyone didn't play along at home to go out and watch it. Now that we've obviously given loads of spoilers. Um,
yeah.
and then I mean, truly from bad to worse, going onto the next film. So
Yes.
look forward to that, and the discussion next time.
Oh, I cannot wait for the next one.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's great, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks to Tom Evans for giving us our theme tune.